Hello, true believers. Stan the Man Lee here, and if you're not a true believer, you can feast upon my ass.
Yeah, that was my terrible Stan Lee impression. But you know what? It was also a reenactment of a real comic pro and what they said to fans on Twitter recently. Yes, Mr. Max Bemis, a writer for Marvel, he was getting nothing but praise for his work on Moon Knight recently. But if you praise them, they're gonna tell you to fuck off. It's like comics fans are this awesome dad, and SJW writers at Marvel are that angsty teen going through that phase where nothing your parents say or do is cool, and you can't accept them no matter what, or how good they are to you. Fans could be like, "I'm proud of you, son. Well done on Moon Knight," and he's just like, "Your white pride is a privilege, Dad. Fascist. Fuck off, cock fuck." We just can't win. We can't win. Even the most staunch of comic book critics praised his work on Moon Knight. Max Bemis still took to Twitter to let us know that if we even look for SJW undertones in his book, that he hates us on a personal level. So, a little raw around the edges. And then he continued to call people cockfucks and shitty alt-right fuckwad dicks with all the cadence of a little kid who just learned how to cuss from the older kids in the neighborhood, but the older kids kind of mistaught him how to cuss as a joke. Uh, which, funnily enough, is a lot how he writes his comic books. So get yourself strapped in, because we're going to get into that very soon. He also ended by telling us that he sees SJW as a term for tolerant futurists. So if you take his, in quotations, SJW views, and you don't like them, you can feast upon his ass. Because in the future, the tolerant ones will let you know they're tolerant, because they'll also let you know that their ass is up for buffet dining. Yeah, no thanks. I think this book of yours I'm about to read might have enough ass flavor for the both of us, Maxi Pad. Could you imagine Stanley saying this, though? Think about it. Really. Telling people to eat his ass for not being, like, Excelsior enough? Jesus. In Max's case, we weren't empathetic enough. You're just not empathetic enough. Yeah, like you can tell that via Twitter, dickhead. See, these people, they're not just in comics either. People like Max, they're running our media. And so when people like us stand up and say, yeah, we don't accept this, we want to have a few standards, I don't know, maybe don't tell the fans to eat your ass out. They're like, oh, you're intolerant. You're the intolerant ones. No, no, no. I contend that we're fighting off the new intolerance. In fact, you're not tolerant futurists. According to me, you're intolerant primitives. Okay? Get it straight. So, who's this charmer with the oh-so-edible ass? Who is this tolerant futurist who screams cockfuck at people who have different opinions than him? Well, Maxipad Bemis is a D-list celeb and a mostly forgotten emo bubblegum pseudo-punk band lead singer from a band called Say Anything, named for some John Cusack movie, and it wasn't even one of his best. He sings like a nervous, stuttering teenager going through puberty for about 7 albums, on albums like Anarchy, My Dear, and I Spy with My Little Eye, a commie-style flag. Pure coincidence, I'm sure. And Say Anything is a real boy! Oh, real boy! Oh boy! Oh shit! Pinocchio appropriation. When it comes to Max comics, though, Max broke in by pitching himself as a quasi-rock star with mental illness. He sold a story about a kid with bipolar disorder who becomes more paranoid as the story continues. It's based on himself, of course, so he played the mental illness card to get into comics with bipolar disorder. The Diet Coke of mental illness. Well played, Bemis. Well played. And since then, we've gotten all kind of fabulous work from the guy. Sorry to assume your gender there, buddy. Like his run on Garth Ennis's Crossed, where we learn that he's just a little sensitive about people who use the term SJW, as he devotes an entire story to horribly murdering comic book fanboys who dare use the term. He's so in denial about SJW being a pejorative that he has a woman staple a man's face shut over it, while screaming at him, and a flayed person skull fuck a dissenting fan to death. So, little lakey over it, you might say. Probably because he's an SJW Deluxe in-action figure, known as the Tolerant Futurist, with backup emo band and shitty political comic book action. He's also a male feminist. Every time I hear that, I'm just like, what? Huh? That's like saying jumbo shrimp to me. It's kind of an oxymoron. Oh yeah, I'm for women hating everything that I'm about and thinking I'm naturally a rapist. I'm pro this. This is great. Yes. So we have Bemis telling fans to eat his ass and that he hates them on a personal level. We got Skull fucking someone to death, SJW denial disorder, and using bipolar disorder to get a job that most normal people would kill for. And we haven't even opened the book yet. Oh, this is going to be great. Let's see how deep the tolerant futurist hole goes, shall we? All right. So this one's called Evil Empire. You can tell it's going to be a tad political. This book looks like something the edgy kid in 8th grade art class would make just before drawing an anarchy symbol on his trapper keeper in whiteout and then sniffing that until he falls asleep. Riveting. We open on what is actually titled Evil Empire, We the People. And an American flag with skulls on it instead of stars. Oh my god, those aren't stars. They're skulls. So topical, it's a lotion. Oh man, Bemis. Oh fuck, you're a man on the edge of the edge, aren't you? I feel like this is going to be it, people. This is going to be Bemis's contribution to our world. We're going to figure it all out through this book. It might be a little early to call this, but I'll say it. Reserve a space on Mount Rushmore. That's all I'm saying. It says here in painfully small microfiche-sized text, so don't just burn down the government buildings and churches. Burn them all down, just to stand and bask in the flames. Let it make you hard. I don't know if that's like a boner thing or... Put a gun in the mouth of every motherfucker who ever pushed you around and do it in my name if that makes it easier for you. What matters is the meaning behind it. And we are rich with purpose. So, intentionally trying to shock you, but it's trying so hard that it falls flatter than Carl Manver's chest. You know what I mean? Max Bemis is the guy in high school who says stuff like this, and it has no meaning, and he's fucking crazy. He's not even crazy. He's just hoping to get a rise out of people and produce some kind of image for mystique for himself. And people want to assign meaning to it so they'll feel more comfortable when they're hanging out with the motherfucker, right? He's really just an asshole spouting this ends of time stuff to get attention. So people coddle his ego and everyone pretends he's deep and doesn't question it. So he starts thinking he really is deep. And over time, he becomes a writer. And now we all have to deal with it. Thanks, Bemis's high school friends. None of you could just say, hey, that's dumb. You sound like Charles Manson's forehead swastika came to life and started a poetry club. Stop it. You sound nuts. So we get to chapter 1 and it says again in the small text small enough to make you wonder if the Smurfs helped out on the production of this shit. It says, greetings, United States of bullshit. Sounds like an album written by the opening morning staff at Hot Topic, doesn't it? Greetings, United States. I think we should call it Greetings, United States of Bullshit. Yeah, those new pants with the straps coming. I don't know. Let me check. Anyway, we open with math because it says exactly right now, plus 25 years in LA. That's great. Nothing gets me hard like opening a book and having to do fucking arithmetic right away. Great. And a gang of assholes, all evil little white boys, attack an army vet in a wheelchair. I remember when I first started making comics, actually. I have to admit, I kind of did make the same type of things happen for my openings back then. And then I grew up, learned how to write, And as they pound the hell out of him, some narrator rants like a Bemis about how all the other post-apocalyptic sci-fi movies you've seen are dumb, and how this story's different. Because it's going to show you how things became so fucked up. And then a man chases the thugs off with a knife that's not even fit to carve a fucking pear up with. And he helps the old veteran out. And then these two masked Antifa-looking brown shirts show up. And they're like, hey, what are you doing there, citizen? And they fucking shoot him. As if the new America is like run by fascists who shoot you for doing good deeds or something? I don't know. It's dumb. They never really explain it. So cut to Alicia Keys rapping. And, yeah, I'd call her style. A white activist guy has black woman sing lyrics from his secret fantasy rap diary. So, ridiculous. And it says it's taking place right now. Really thoughtful time setup there, Maxie. She's like, bang, bang goes the hand. Me down, cat. Never knew you'd wind up like that. Casualty of the rat race of fat cats. Chewed up by an ancient class war. Don't you know what black is for? So, nonsense, word salad, and don't taste great, and it's bad for you. Fodder for a corrupt aspiring president, tracks on thin skin and corporal punishment. I don't know if that's a Trump reference based on that like fake Russian dossier or what, but it goes on. Holmes, you're like a right-wing comic, like you was brought here by a comet. To wear tights under tight whites, you make me vomit. Okay, if SGW's working at Marvel had a rap, this would be it. They hate superheroes there right now, and you can tell. And tell me what rapper takes jabs at superheroes in comics and their radical conspiracy theory rap? Like, who does that? And of course, Axel Alonso had to look at this and be like, he looked at this work and he looked at the guy and he was like, yes, this is what Marvel needs. More superhero hate. It's the future, I tell ya. It's the tolerant futurist future. I don't know. We're led to believe she's the voice of her generation of Antifa or whatever. And we move to her chilling in the dressing room after the show, and she hears a commercial for some politician she doesn't like who's talking about bringing back values. And her response is, psh, bring values back to my taint. Yeah, women don't have taints. And if your non-existent taint needs values, maybe it's time to, I don't know, take it to the clinic for a checkup. I don't know. It's your body. You do you, boo. And why do SJW women always say things like that, like they have man parts? They're like, suck my dick! And you're like, I can't wait for the male feminists like BEMIS to start referencing their lady parts, They'll be like, psh, out of corn nuts, my clit. Kind of a pseudo-progressive. I had a pseudo-progressive ex-friend. He tried to convince me to start calling things strong a pussy after he heard me use the term to describe something kind of shitty or weak. He was like, man, pussies are strong and they give birth and they take poundings and they really deal with a lot, so we should start calling strong things pussies. So I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. See that gang of bikers over there? Yeah, you should go over them there and you need to let them know how pussy they look today. Yeah, he never bothered me about that vernacular ever again. And it worked out great for both of us. So this politician who looks like Hugh Grant, romantic comedy version, comes in with his wispy-ass hair and his hand on his hip and acts all coy with zero confidence, unlike any politician I've ever seen. And did I mention, he's running for fucking president. So I can tell the writer's trying to make him some kind of outside-the-box kind of politician, but something's fucking off. Okay, he looks like a kid who got caught doing something. I'm gonna have to do the Hugh Grant voice for him. He's like, hello, I'm Sam Duggins, and he fawns all over her, and she's like, what are you doing here? I hate politicians. And he's like, oh no, I know, that the truth is, this can't be a real fucking politician. This isn't even endearing or charming. It's not. I know he's probably going for that, but he's like, I'm here because I pulled some strings and I wanted to meet you. Yeah, no shit. I'm a big fan. That probably sounds weird. No, it doesn't sound weird. But I basically mildly abused my power to make this happen. The fuck is this shit? Famous people get backstage all the time without even having to abuse anyone. They just show their face and they get they just walk through. I did that at my job and let people backstage that were famous all the time. He's like a little kid apologizing for shitting on someone's lawn or something. And Rihanna's all like, yeah, that's weird, And he's like, oh no, I know. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to stand by what I write. I'm a real radical. I hate Republicans. But to me, you're just a flip side of the same coin. Because you don't be woke enough, y'all. And he was like, oh, to be honest, I figured you'd say something like that. So charmingly befuddled. And she's like, you expected me to be a dick? And he's like, oh, no, I wasn't picturing any sort of penis, actually. And What the fuck school of banter did you graduate from, BEMIS? What is this shit? This isn't endearing, isn't charming, it's not a funny, back and forth. It's just some, weird fucking Hugh Grant guy, slobbering and stuttering all over himself while she's just like, you thought I was a penis? And he's like, no, I promise there was no penis pictured. What the fuck is this? Anyway, he starts praising her again. Oh, that's rebellion and anger. I love it. I came here to remind myself of that dressed in this stupid suit they picked out for me. Yeah, he's not wearing a suit, by the way. And this act is so fucking put on. And he's like, oh, Jesus, that sounded so Orkies, rolling off the tongue there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Orkies. Yeah, you're a grown man. And finally, speaking of, a grown-up shows up and intervenes and says that Hugh Grant is needed for something real. So remember, he's running for president, this guy. He's like a schoolboy that's never talked to a girl before in this scene. It's so weird. He clearly wants something from her, and he's trying this whole like, oh, aren't I charming? Did you see 9 months? So we cut to the most pretentious way possible to what's going on. We show a red asterisk, which they used to show us that something happened outside of the store we were watching, which, could have been done smoothly, and but no, we're getting a red asterisk because the kid at the wheel drew an anarchy sign on his Trapper Keeper, and so that we have to deal. We have to roll with this, okay? So we cut to a politician's daughter is returned home to find her mother stabbed. And she says really reasonable things like, Mom Jesus, God Jesus, I'm going to call an ambulance. And Mom just goes, nah, I was awful to you. And someone felt they had to put me in my place. Great dying words there. Real realistic. And then some precious little MTV muffin boy 3 days later is interviewing our lead, who's smugging out like we've seen some stars do. I get it. Sometimes stardom goes to your head and you say stupid, fucked up things you think are deep and you kind of feel a little bit more than human. But I mean, this shit, what she's saying, I guess we're supposed to think is like tolerant futurist kind of deep. Let's find out. Pee Wee Hipster says, what separates you from the Marilyn Mansons of the world? And she's just like, I've got a bone to pick with civilization. Oh, you do, huh? Compared to what? Like, you're comparing Western civilization to, like, every other civilization? Because, honey, you shouldn't be complaining. We did so much so fast, and we've done so much better than so many other civilizations. Like, we just have. And, like, you're comparing us to what exactly? Seriously. Like, some alien one that we haven't discovered yet? Like, what is your standard, Little Miss Rap artist, that we're just not living up to as a civilization? What the fuck? It's great how these people say things like that. Like, she's getting interviewed by MTV and she's like, civilization and we're having a problem. Oh my God. Fuck you. You're like do you come up with these thoughts while you're on your cell phone on the toilet tweeting about how bad you have it? Shit. So she says, it deserves to be discussed and rallied against by real people, not just hopped up angry white kids in clown makeup. You hear that? She's real, and Marilyn Manson, a guy who's known for his extensive knowledge of history and highly articulate interviewing, just isn't real. I detect a hint of jealousy there, Bemis. I don't know. Maybe if your band had a hair on your balls, you wouldn't be taking cheap shots at Manson in your Antifa Wet Dream comic book story. I don't know. Just a thought. And Andy Dick has more questions, like, what did you think of the murder of the Republican's wife? And she's all like, you really gonna go there? First off, I'm a human being. And she calls Obama inept and says we need real change. At least I think she's referring to Obama. And up walks Hugh Grant. And he's just like, yes, I'm terribly sorry for interrupting. No offense, Reese. And she's just like, yeah, none taken. And then he completely hijacks her interview and talks about how he's for promoting the progressive kids over everyone else in our country. Yeah, that's going to go off real good at the polls there, buddy. The college kid vote. That's how I locked this shit down. He's like, listen to those who have the balls not to assume that one should be elected to lead because we happen to represent whatever generalized demographic you're placed in. I came. God, what? No one assumes. People are smart and they vote for what's best in their best interests, okay? And they don't go for whatever demographic they think. I mean, maybe some do, but most probably don't, all right? Demographics are for SJW tard zealots, okay? Anyway, he's like, that's how this country was birthed, questioning. No, we didn't just question, we fought and we created better rights for everyone. And we worked hard to preserve those rights and make this new idea work. It wasn't just questioning. How is this guy running for fucking president? What the fuck? The people he's trying to like speak for, these people want to burn everything down, by the way. The progressives, they think society's corrupt and we have to start over from the ashes. Okay? And that's not what our country, that's not how our country was birthed. It wasn't birthed from ashes. We didn't try to burn the system down. We just built a better one. Okay? We were creative versus destructive. See how that fucking works? Anyway, this guy's just fucking full of shit anyway, isn't he? These little speeches he gives, like, just to impress her, pretty much. He's fucking up to something, you can tell. He's a fucking politician, after all. So we cut to our, for realsies radical in her beautiful open concept home with her awesome state-of-the-art kitchen island. And she's just sitting on the couch with nothing to do in her fucking horribly repressed life. And so she decides to give Hugh Boy a call, but he takes her out and it's nothing but a funeral. Because nothing gets them hot like being reminded of their own mortality, am I right? It's the funeral of an evil Republican and his wife who was murdered. So of course they have the Republican guy get up there teary-eyed and he rants like a stereotypical cardboard Republican that SJWs have in their heads and they have nightmares about. He's like, we live in a godless society. And yeah, he talks about how precious the idea of the strong, loving family is and all that shit. And then, after he gets everyone all nice and set up, he admits that he killed her with a huge smile on his face. He's like, I put a knife in that bitch. Yeah. Yep, that's our ending. Oh, so shocking. The Republican is a mad, crazy murderer. What else is new in SJWville, people? So if you continue to read this book into further issues, you get like a page like this one of the La Resistance. I don't know. To me, it looks more like roller derby has come to Los Angeles, not the Resistance, but whatevs. Whatever. And then I found a few covers here that are interesting. On them are quotes. We have this timely classic, "One death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic." You know who made that one? Stalin. What about this one? "Politics is war without bloodshed. War is politics with bloodshed." You know who did this one? Mao. Yeah, that's 2 for 2 communist quotes. Let's see this one. "Death is the solution to all problems. No man, no problem." Ooh, Stalin again. And the last one is, "The seed of revolution is repression," which, okay, I kind of get that one a little bit more. And it's not a commie one. It's Woodrow Wilson. Less communist, but still it's from a speech on workers' rights. I can agree with this quote, but the problem is that SJWs think this quote represents their struggle when it doesn't. They're not starting a revolution, and they're definitely not repressed. They've been told they were by a fucking college professor, and they just believe it. You've been lied to, guys. You're not repressed, and you shouldn't be working daily to make everyone feel as miserable and repressed as you, just to get your little, shitty commie revolution, because it ain't gonna happen. This book was SJW fucking trash. And people who lash out at fans with their fucked up intolerant beliefs have no place anywhere in our society. Maybe you could work at Baskin Robbins or something, but I draw a line there after that. These days, people like BEMIS, they instead get red carpets laid out for them to be as mentally ill and scream at fans and make shitty products that no one wants. We really need this bad phase in art entertainment to turn a corner already and get back to stories that unify us with their greatness rather than divide, okay? This experiment needs to be fucking over. We dipped our toe into the poop. It's time to fucking pull it out and go wash off and start again, all right, people? Oh, God. What do you think? Let me know. Leave some comments. If you don't like my ideas, I don't care. You can dine upon my sweet derriere. Buffet my backside, you alt-right Nazis. I'm Rise Again and Death to Ming and Excelsior!